Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to WNBA Trending. I'm Ava, and tonight, we're diving into one of the hottest debates in women's basketball. A former NBA player, best known for his time with the Los Angeles Clippers, has stirred major controversy with blunt comments about how the WNBA is handling its brightest star, Caitlin Clark. His words? "Caitlin Clark is your golden egg. She's the cash cow, and the league is failing to protect her." Those comments have set off a firestorm across basketball circles, sparking discussions about player safety, the financial future of the league, and how much responsibility falls on the WNBA to not only promote but also protect its biggest attraction. Let's break down the story. When Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA as the #1 overall pick for the Indiana Fever, the hype was unlike anything the league had ever seen. Coming off a record-breaking career at Iowa, Clark arrived with national recognition, a massive fan base, and a reputation for lighting up the scoreboard. It was clear from day one, this wasn't just a player, this was a movement. Attendance at Fever games skyrocketed. Merchandise sales spiked. Television ratings surged. Suddenly, arenas that were once half empty were filled to the rafters. Networks saw double and triple the audience numbers when Caitlin Clark was on the court. For the first time in years, casual sports fans, those who had never paid much attention to the WNBA, were tuning in, buying tickets, and supporting the product. And yet, with all of this growth came questions. Is the league doing enough to ensure its star is protected both physically and professionally? That's where the ex-Clippers center comes in. Speaking on a popular basketball podcast, he didn't hold back. He argued that the WNBA has a responsibility to treat Caitlin Clark not just as another rookie, but as the single most important business asset they have right now. In his words, "She's bringing in money you've never seen before. If you can't protect her, if you let other players beat her up every night without consequences, you're risking everything." It was a blunt assessment, but not an entirely baseless one. Over the course of this season, Clark has faced tough, physical defense, sometimes crossing the line into what many fans and analysts describe as targeting. Clips of her taking hard fouls, elbows, and even what look like intentional hits have gone viral. Every time it happens, debates erupt on social media. Is she being singled out? Is it fair? And more importantly, why aren't referees or the league stepping in? The ex-Clippers player pointed to a bigger business lesson. In the NBA, stars have always been protected. Whether it was Michael Jordan in the 90s, LeBron James in the 2010s, or Steph Curry in more recent years, referees have historically been quick to whistle when physical play threatened the flow of the game or the health of their marquee names. The reason is simple: stars drive revenue. If they're sidelined with injury or marginalized by overly physical defense, the league suffers. So his message to the WNBA was clear: Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's the economic engine pulling the train. Protecting her isn't favoritism, it's business sense. Of course, this opinion hasn't gone unchallenged. Critics argue that basketball is a physical sport, and every player, rookie or veteran, star or role player, must adjust to the level of toughness the league demands. Giving Clark preferential treatment, they argue, would not only be unfair but could also damage locker room chemistry across the league. Some WNBA veterans have also spoken out, pointing to the fact that they've endured years of rough play without the league stepping in. To suddenly adjust the rules or their enforcement for Caitlin Clark, they say, would disrespect the struggles of players who've built the league without that protection. Still, numbers don't lie. Clark's presence has transformed the WNBA's visibility. ESPN and ABC have reported record viewership numbers whenever she plays. The Indiana Fever, once struggling for relevance, are now one of the league's top draws. Ticket resellers are listing Fever games at prices that rival NBA contests. Even casual sports fans, people who might have never known the difference between the Mercury and the Liberty, are now familiar with the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. And that, the ex-Clippers center insists, is why she must be treated differently. In his words, "You don't treat the golden egg like a regular egg. You take care of it. If she's gone, what happens to all those new fans? What happens to those TV ratings? You lose momentum you may never get back." This perspective highlights a fascinating tension. Should the WNBA lean into business logic and give Caitlin Clark an added layer of protection? Or should they stick with their long-standing culture of equality, where no one is treated above the team or the league? Let's remember, this isn't just about fouls on the court. It's also about how the league markets her. Some feel the WNBA hasn't done enough to maximize Caitlin Clark's star power, especially compared to how the NBA promotes its brightest names. While companies like Nike and Gatorade have rushed to sign endorsement deals, critics argue that the league itself has been slow to capitalize, missing opportunities to push Clark as the face of the WNBA globally. Meanwhile, fans are watching closely. Social media is buzzing with heated arguments. Some agree with the ex-Clippers player, saying that the WNBA is foolish not to protect its biggest financial asset. Others counter that women's basketball has always been about toughness, resilience, and collective progress, not about catering to one star. It's also worth noting that Caitlin Clark herself has handled the debate with maturity. She rarely complains publicly about hard fouls, instead focusing on improving her game and helping her team. That humility has only made her more beloved by fans, further fueling the sense that the league has something truly special on its hands. So, what's next? That's the million-dollar, or perhaps billion-dollar, question. If the WNBA listens to the warnings and starts adjusting how games are called, we may see a new era where stars are protected more carefully. If they don't, and if Caitlin Clark suffers a major injury or burnout, the league risks stalling the growth it has only just begun to experience. At the end of the day, this isn't just about basketball. It's about business, branding, and the future of women's sports. Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent who has elevated the WNBA into mainstream conversation. The question is whether the league will recognize her as the golden egg and take every step necessary to protect it. That's all for today's report. I'm Ava, and you've been watching WNBA Trending. Stay tuned for more updates as this story continues to unfold.